In this video, I want to discuss location. I've started a fixture here. I want to make 3 of these parts. In this part, I've shown in red what's already been machined to our part, and in blue what I would like to machine. And I want to stress like because it may not be possible to get all of the features, but let's examine location first and see if we can. So how can we locate this part and lock up at least the 9 degrees of freedom and then move on from there? So first, let's just make this part transparent. And one of the obvious options or a common option, especially if it's a high volume production part, is to create a custom parallels. This one is shown here. I'll just turn it all blue. So I could create this custom parallel, and there's my 3-point location, and that custom parallel needs yet to be properly bolted to this plate. And then how else could we locate this part? Well, we'll turn this back on and we'll look at it. Lucky for us, this part has 2 reamed holes. So a simple solution is to choose 2 undersized dowels and locate on those. So now I have locked up 11 degrees of freedom. The only one left is to bring this off the fixture and off the pins. So that'd be my Z positive. We'll come back in another video and we'll talk about clamping as well. But for now, we just want to focus on location. So one way to locate this part is on my custom parallel and then 2 concentric locators in these holes. If I don't want to make a custom parallel, let's move to this part. I'm just going to turn its transparency on. Is I can add 3 rest buttons underneath. Now in this case, I've added rest buttons that will be press fit into this, so they're going to act like a dowel. And they have a threaded hole, so I can later add a bolt through here to help with my clamping. So once again, I have 3-point location. The rest buttons can also have a screw put in them through the bottom to hold them in if you wish, or not because it is press fit. So I've got these 3-point location, and the next thing we should consider is, well, we're going to machine around the outside profile of this part. And the clamping will help stop vibration, but if all we do are these 3 rest buttons, when the tool comes around here, even if it is properly clamped, how do we prevent this from distorting and chattering? So we can't add another locator. That would be redundant. What we can add, though, is an adjustable stop. So here I've added a bolt with a lock nut, so I can unthread this, put my part on, loosen my lock nut off, bring this up till it just touches the part, and then lock it. So I've got an adjustable support here. It's not part of my 3-point location. It's just adding more support to dampen any vibration and decrease the chance of chatter. And then once again, I've gone with concentric locators in my 2 dowel holes. And you'll notice this time I've gone with diamond pins. So this diamond pin is oriented so it's going to stop movement in this direction. And then when I add this diamond pin, it stops movement in this direction. And diamond pins are preferred over straight dowels because they allow for a little more freedom and variation in the spacing between hole to hole so that the parts go on and off with relative ease. Just going to set the transparency of this part back to normal. And both this solution and this solution are very viable and good solutions once we add clamps. And let's look at a final solution. So I can also get, just deal with this part. I'm going to make it transparent. I can also get diamond pins that are also rest pads. So I can buy these from many suppliers. So the part can rest on these 2 points. I need to add a 3rd one here as I did here, and adjustable support as well as I did here. But once again, I can add a solid pin and 1 diamond pin, or I could have 2 diamond pins or 2 solid pins that also sit on this face and rest there. So that's another option. And let's just consider for a second, is that a reasonable option? I'm going to put the transparency of this back to normal. And I want to look at this face. So if I zoom in here, well, as designed, it's not the best option because adding a bolt through either of these holes, because these holes are already machined to clamp the part, I can see the pad for my rest button is in the way. Now I can make a custom one and make a smaller pad. That is a possibility, and it's not a bad idea, but I still will be really tight here. And then I'm not tightening directly over the support as much as possible. We want to clamp directly over the support so we don't distort our part. So those are three options. They're all viable and acceptable. Any one of them would work just as well as the other, or could be made to work just as well as the other.